It's been announced on the website that I would be offering some Dhamma reflections at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock has now come. I realise people are still arriving, so I'll maybe wait for another minute or two to let people get settled. At the garden centre, the road is blocked, huh? Good morning to everyone. So please do get settled down. Nang sabai, sabai. The road has been blocked, so people are a little bit late. So we'll just begin with our program and then adapt as we go along. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ dhammāṃ saṅghāṃ namasāmi. So I'm very glad, honoured people coming to visit Amaravati on my birthday, and to recognise also that the roads are a bit blocked, and so people are delayed. So this is one of the regular manifestations of the law of uncertainty, and that life is not arranged according to our plans or our preferences. It's the way that the world is. So a birthday is it's a day that we celebrate an individual. I'm very touched by these great displays of flowers. People here in the front row can't see me because they're fantastic gladioli obscuring the view, which is a good problem to have. And so we take someone's birthday as a way of celebrating that individual, making it a special day for them, but I like to bear in mind that life is a relational process. We live in relationship to each other. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my mother and father, and that they gave birth to me. My mother gave birth to me 65 years ago today in Kench Hill Hospital in Tenterden in Kent. That's where I arrived, and my sisters and I all arrived in the world in that particular place, in the Weald of Kent, and so I feel it's very good on our birthdays to remember everybody else who's been involved in our lives, and to not just think of our own life or our own sort of say experiences or how things are for us as individuals, but to take it as an occasion to recognize the web of relationships and what of the different things of the world that have come together to help us to be here. So when I was living in America, in California, then there was a strong influence of Native American culture there. Many Buddhists were very interested in Native American culture and drew upon that to inform their own spiritual practice. And one of the phrases that you get in many Native American tribal languages and in customs is a phrase which is "all my relations." That people will talk about us as a group. All my relations means not just me as an individual, but that we function together as a group. We're part of a living process. And I remember reading an account of a young man from I think a Lakota member of the Lakota tribe, and it was a Westerner who was asking him or talking about this principle of all my relations, and he said, well, when in my village, if we have a race, that all the young men get out and we have a foot race, and then if you come first, if you win the race, then you feel glad that you've run that fast, but you don't think that you've done it alone. You don't think that, look what I've done, but it's immediately you have the sense of, well, I couldn't have run this fast if it wasn't for my mother and my father and all the food that I've eaten and the people who've taught me how to run and the grandparents that I've had and the earth that I'm running upon. All of that is involved. So I feel this is a very skillful way of reflecting on our life, looking at our world, that we don't just function as individuals, but we're part of a whole web of influences and relationships. So that a birthday is a good opportunity to say, Ajahn Amaro, this is your day. But I also like to, as I mention most years, I like to particularly make this as a day to recollect and to generate gratitude towards my mother. As I was saying to people who came to visit yesterday, many years ago, when my mother and father came to visit on this day, September 2nd, many years ago, when I was living here in the late 80s, early 90s, and I had a present to give to my mother, and she said, well, why are you giving me a present? It's your birthday. I said, well, you were involved too, Mum. And it took her a couple of seconds to, oh yes, right. And I heard through the family rumors that she was extremely ill giving birth to me, nearly killed her. So that when she thought about it, said, yes, I was involved. And yeah, it was substantially significant occasion, not just bringing a son into the world, but it was also a time of precarious health for her. She managed to survive, fortunately. So I feel that when we have a birthday, or when we have, when we looking at our lives, then to get a sense of what has brought us into the world, our gratitude to our parents, our grandparents, the lineages of those who've come before, all of those who have made effort to help us, to educate us, to feed us, to support us, to provide for us. It's no small thing. I wouldn't be sitting here today if it hadn't been for the great efforts of my family and my parents, grandparents, and so forth, to be being involved in very direct and practical ways, literally feeding me and housing me and helping me to grow up. So I feel this is important to be bringing to mind that we live in relationship with each other. And I also, in saying these words, sometimes our relationships with our parents are not very sweet. They can be very difficult, very painful. Sometimes you don't even know who our parents are. People who've been orphaned or adopted have no idea, how they were born or where they came from. But even so, this is how we've come into the world. And even if we have a painful, difficult relationship with our parents or in our families, or we don't know who our parents are, still that sense of, well, this is where my life has come from. This is my physical birth has come from these people. And for better or for worse, here it is, and I have the gift of life. And having been born in this time where the Buddha's teaching is in the world, and being able to come in contact with the Buddha's teaching, to come in contact with people who are similarly, say, inspired to live according to the Buddha's teaching and follow that guidance, this is a fantastic opportunity. So that along with the gratitude that we have, or the relationship we have with our birth families, and where we've grown up and how we've been brought into the world, it's also a good opportunity to recollect our spiritual ancestors and those who've been our teachers. We're very fortunate now to have Lumpur Sameto living here at Amaravati, and I certainly I have sincere doubts whether I would have survived this long in the monastic life if it hadn't been for Lumpur Sameto's influence and his teaching. I was very fortunate to be able to just after my first reigns as a monk, I came back to live in England and was here with Lumpur Sumedho at Chithurst and Amaravati and other places for many years. And so with his guidance and his incredible example and generosity of his teachings and his great wisdom, I feel immense gratitude and appreciation for him and his influence, so that when I think of all my relations, definitely Lumpur Sumedho, Lumpur Cha count very much in terms of those relationships. Similarly, my sisters and brothers in the monastic life, because if it was just me showing up in Sussex and Ajahn Sumedho as a lone Buddhist monk in a house in Sussex, and there wasn't the community of others around at the time. Ajahn Chandasiri was there. I was there the day she took the 8 precepts. So day 1 for her birthday as a nun, and the other monastic friends have come along since that time. But again, I make no secret of the fact that I don't think I would have survived as a monk these 42 years if it hadn't been for the friendship and support of our fellow Sangha members sharing this life together with my brother monks and sister nuns, that we support each other, we hold each other up. And one of the most powerful aspects of Lumpur Cha's teachings, even though when we hear his talks or we read the books or translations of his teachings, or if we read them in Thai language, one of the things that doesn't necessarily come across from the spoken word or the written word is that one of the main ways that he taught was through the quality of Sangha, living together as a community, working together as a community. And that I feel it's a kind of an invisible presence, or not a very obvious presence in his teaching, but it was a very strong principle within the way that he established his monasteries and the way that he trained people, that we're in this together. We need to help each other, and even if our personalities are very different, our backgrounds are different, our nationalities are very different, the faith that we have in the Triple Gem and our commitment to the practice of Dhamma, that is something that we all share. And that is our meeting point. So whether we happen to be female or male, or we happen to be Thai or English or American or French or German or whatever, those things are secondary to the fact that we are all sons and daughters of the Buddha. We are the Sakya Ditta, Sakya Putta, and that the faith that we have in Buddha Dhamma and the practice of Buddha Dhamma is that which unites us. So Lumpur Cha put a great emphasis on Sangha, and sometimes just the acts of working together, engaging in building projects together, practicing meditation together, chanting together. That was quite different from many other forest monasteries. A lot of the Thai forest monastery style is sort of going to your kuti and practicing by yourself, but Lumpur Cha very deliberately crafted things so that yes, it's beneficial and helpful to sit alone in your kuti, to do walking meditation, sitting meditation by yourself, but the majority of the time you're in the sala, in the community hall, sitting together with your fellow monastics. When there were building projects and things needing to be done around the monastery, Lumpur Cha took that as a very significant learning opportunity, when he decided that they needed to build a wall around Wat Pah Pong forest to protect the animals mostly, and the privacy of the monastic communities. The nuns cast 100,000 concrete blocks, and then the monks built the wall from those. That was a kind of a lot of work, and there were no cement mixers. There was no electricity at that time. It was all shovel and elbow. That was the way you mix concrete. So 100,000 concrete blocks made by the nuns and then put in place by the monks. When he built the Uposatha hall, the meditation hall, similarly, I think the nuns dug the large pit of earth to gather the earth to make the mound. The nuns dug it, and there was a wall built at a certain central place in the monastery. The nuns brought the earth in baskets to that wall. They tipped it over the top, and then the monks picked up the earth from the other side and then took it over and built the mound, so that everyone's literally lending a hand. Everyone's involved, and that the mound that the boat, the Oppositor Hall at Wat Pah Pong, that sits upon, that was literally built. The earth was gathered by the nuns and placed by the monks and pounded down with bamboo poles and so pounding sticks into place, and the Oppositor Hall built on top. So rather than thinking, oh, it's unfortunate that we've got to do all this labour and then we can get back to the practice, Luang Por Chah would recognise that working together and literally physically engaging with each other and learning to collaborate, to work together, that was a profound and important teaching in itself. That's as much the practice as sitting alone in our kuti, or doing walking meditation by ourselves in the forest, or travelling alone on a tudong through the countryside and living in remote places. So, and when we work together, when we function as a community, we in a sense develop that community consciousness. You recognise some people go quick, some people go slow. Some people arrive first for the work, some people arrive last. You know, some people leave first and some people leave last. Some people are always leaving stuff behind, and other people are always picking up after everyone else. This is how we are. And rather than just sort of praising one and criticising another, Luang Por Chah's style of say, well, look and see how we are. What's your habit? What's your style? How do you work? How do you mesh together? How do you harmonise with the other people in your community? If you're faster than everyone, maybe you need to slow down a bit. If you're slower than everyone, maybe you need to speed up a bit. Or if you're not strong enough to lift the heavy stuff, let someone know and say, I'd like to lift the heavy stuff, but my shoulders and my arms can't do it. So I'd like to help, but can I just lift more of the light stuff because I can't do the heavy stuff? So we acknowledge our limitations, we learn about our habits, we learn about the characters of others, and then through being mindful and attentive to each other's limitations and our own capacities and other people's capacities, then we find a place of harmony. So I feel that learning to live in in sympathy with our relations, not just in the monastery, in the family life, you know. Who are the quick ones? Who are the slow ones? Who are the ones eager to be helpful? Who are the ones always trying to get away from being helpful? All of us, we live with different people. We have different character traits within ourselves. This is how we are as a human family, and that when we are able to open our heart and appreciate that our relations, all our relations, include a big variety of character traits, of different potentialities, limitations we have, abilities that we have, then that appreciation of the whole field of who we are and who are the people around us are, how we are, that it really enables a quality of genuine harmony, a genuine samagi, a genuine accord, so that that quality of Sangha and the lessons that are learned from, say, being ready to fit in with others around you, to recognize your own limitations, your own abilities, that is a wonderful and profound teaching. So on a birthday occasion like this, and reflecting on our relationships and our relatedness with each other, I feel it's very helpful. Sometimes we might be eager to help other people, but we find it very difficult to be helped. I'm all right, I'm fine, I don't need anything. Leave me alone. But actually it might be something that's useful to allow yourself to be helped. Like Luang Por Sumedho is a very good example now. He's 87 years old. He was a very independent, strong character. Now he can't walk by himself. He's unsteady on his feet. His balance is not good. His eyesight is not good. So he needs an arm to lean on. So he doesn't apologize for that or regret that. It's just, okay, I used to be able to walk by myself. Now I can't. So he is very glad to have Ajahn Asoko, who's about 2 meters tall and very sturdy, at his side, so Luang Por can lean on Ajahn Asoko and get places. So I would say that that's a very good example of recognizing, we need each other, and that when we are wise, we recognize when we can reach out and help others around us, and then also when we need help, we can allow ourselves to be helped. That we don't have to do everything on our own. We're not isolated or say separated from each other. And that quality of Sangha, as I was saying, I greatly appreciate that. I'm fully prepared to acknowledge I wouldn't have had a hope surviving as a monk without my sisters and brothers to be providing that kind of support. And I feel that those of you who come to Amaravati, that coming every Sunday, every Tuesday, coming every Wednesday, the Wednesday group, the Tuesday group, the Sunday group, Saturday group, that you help each other. I mean, I'm not reading anybody's minds. I don't have cameras in your homes, but I suspect there have been Tuesdays or Wednesdays or Sundays where you wake up and you think, oh, do I have to, or oh, I don't really feel like it. And then, well, no, my friends, they're going, so I should get up and get at it and make the effort. I'm not spying on anyone, so I'm not reading anybody's mind. So if you think, how did he know? How did he know? This is just guesswork. How we are as human beings, because that. Then that sense of I want to be there for my friends, and you manage to get up and get with it and get to the monastery. Then, oh, why was I hesitating earlier today? This is great. I'm really happy to be here. I'm so glad I made the effort. It's exactly the same in the monastery for the nuns and monks. Again, I'm not spying on anyone. Don't have cameras in people's rooms or in their kutis, but I know for myself when that alarm goes early in the morning, the first thought is, not yet. Negotiate, 5 more minutes, That's almost always my first thought. But then, oh no, it's we have the time to get up and the time to gather for meditation. 5 o'clock we meet in the temple. Okay, that's everyone else is going to be there, so get up, get with it, and then getting to the temple, sitting in the silence of the temple with everyone else, and this is delightful, this is beautiful, this is lovely to do. So we help each other, having that kind of group intention and the quality of Sangha, Kalyanamitta, of spiritual friendship. It's the way that we are supported by others, and also how we support others. That it's like the sea that buoys us up, that lifts us up. That we are supported and encouraged by others, but also in this reflection, I like to also they bring to mind that you are providing support for others, so that not to be kind of getting inflated about that, saying you need me. If it wasn't for me, you'd really be in trouble. That's a very foolish kind of conceited way to think, but rather to recognize it's not just that others help you, but your faith, your commitment, your resolution coming here, every week, week after week, month after month, year after year, your faith, your commitment, that's encouraging. That's a genuine benefit to the others, and to see that you are, just by your own acting on your own faith, you're providing support and encouragement and blessings for people around you. Again, if you think I'm a real blessing to the the rest of the Tuesday group, or the Sunday group would really be stuck without me, then that's a wrong grasping of faith and commitment. That's kind of called stupidity, foolishness. That's a foolish grasping of spiritual practice. But if we just see it in a straightforward and non-personal, non-egotistical way, recognize, that other people are benefited by my own generosity, by my own efforts, by my own commitment, and that's a delightful thing. Though I often, particularly for Westerners, to reflect upon your own goodness is really difficult, because it seems like we're trying to be proud or kind of inflated about how good we are. But the Buddha did encourage us to look at our own goodness, to reflect on that. It's called Chaganusati, to consider your own generosity, your own kindness, your own goodness, and to be able to appreciate that. Again, not to be egotistical about it, but just to say, yeah, I'm glad that I did that. I'm really there's a peacefulness and a joyfulness in my heart that I've helped in this way, or I've done this, I created this kind of good karma. That chaganusati, it's like remembering your own goodness, recollecting the brightness of your own heart. So for those of you for whom that's a struggle, like you think, oh no, I'm nobody, I'm really useless, or you don't know what's going on in my mind, Ajahn, I haven't got any goodness, really. That I would say, okay, listen to that thought and politely park it, put it over to the side, and to consider the things that you've done, the way you've helped others, your acts of generosity, your acts of kindness, your commitment to the precepts, to being a helpful, unselfish person. That if somebody else acted that way, if it was your friend who'd done all those things that you have done, you'd be proud of them. You'd say, well done, you're a really impressive person, I'm really glad to know you. But because it's ourselves, oh no, it's nothing, it's not important, it doesn't matter. So the Buddha said, no, look at your own goodness, contemplate your own goodness, appreciate the brightness of your own heart. So in terms of boon or punya, those blessings, so appreciate the boon, the blessings that are there. Don't dismiss that or ignore that, but let the goodness of your own actions be something that you delight in, that it's something that you rejoice in. When there's a short sutta where it seems like one of the Sangha members has been saying that punya or boon or blessings is not really important. It's not there in the text, but it's kind of implied by the way the Buddha speaks. He says, don't look down upon boon, upon punya. Don't belittle it. Don't dismiss it. He says, punya is another word for happiness. So don't look down on that. So it's not kind of inferior to wisdom or to insight or to states of profound concentration. Punya, that brightness of the heart that comes from wholesome action, from nobility of intention, says don't belittle that, don't ignore that. That's another word for happiness. That's something that's very, very precious, very important, very, very beautiful. So those of you who come and tambun over and over and over, please rejoice in the good that you have done, so that you can consider that a birthday gift from me, to a reminder. You're not getting anything from me except a reminder to recollect your own goodness. It's like having piles of money in the bank, but you've forgotten the account number, or you've forgotten that you've got that account. You've inherited piles and piles of money, and it's sitting there in the bank, but you're not making use of it. It's like you've got lots and lots of boon built up, but you're so preoccupied with things to worry about, you forget, oh, I actually got piles of money in the bank. I'm not broke, really. So it's like remembering the punya in your boon account. Yeah, you've got lots of savings there, and this isn't just bakwan kind of sweet talk. It's just I feel it's important to not dismiss that, or to not ignore that, because our mind, our attention can easily be distracted by the things to worry about, looking after the business or the family, or trying to get to the monastery on time. We can get so, I'm late. Oh, I got to do it. I gotta. We can get so stressed by the superficial things, we forget, well, I'm getting stressed, I'm creating suffering about going to the monastery to make offerings. It's like, wow, that's a really lovely thing to be doing. So why am I suffering over something that is a beautiful thing to bring into the world? It's a very lovely intention, but I'm creating suffering around it. So to not be distracted by the things we worry about, or be preoccupied by, but to look below that and see what's my intention, and what have I been doing with my life? What are the most important things for me? And just let that brightness come to the surface, to acknowledge that there's a lot of treasure in your boon account. So I offer these words for consideration today. So if there are offerings to be made, this is now the time to make them. bit wonky, that's okay. Wonky is good. That book is for you. And the other book is for you. Build up my muscles. That is for you, Shanti. English and fine. This is your little boy? Little boy is not so little. He's older than his mum already. Older than mum already. Didn't take long.
Under the camera's there.
Or I will support you.
Oh, Agnes, you didn't get a book? met Ajahn before. Senior member. So good for you, Yunchok. Get up first. There we go. Homegrown. Very good. Here's your down book for you. So I will offer the Anumodana now, and those who'd like to do the water pouring, please. Oh, right. Get your water glasses ready. So many people have come to make offerings today, as we can see. Firstly, I'd like to offer blessings to Ajahn Sundara. She had a heart attack on Saturday. She's survived, and she was in hospital, the Harefield Hospital, for a few days. She is back here now at Amaravati and recovering. So please do bear her in your hearts and spread metta karuna for her recovery. Also requested to dedicate blessings for John Waters, younger brother of Charles Waters, who died yesterday of a heart attack in Lille, in France, aged 54. So also another brother, Michael, has got cancer at the moment. So we've been frequently dedicating blessings for Michael Waters, but this is a younger brother who died from a heart attack just yesterday. So we dedicate blessings for John Waters. Also dedicate blessings today with dear Kalyanamita Pat Skipper. She's recovering from a total knee replacement. With the dedication, may she have a speedy recovery and regain mobility. That's from Gilla Quinn. Gilla? Is that? Gilla? Gilla? That's you? Gilla? Gilla. Excuse me. Gilla Quinn. And also from Udita Senaratna, Krishanti Nanayakara and Kavin Senaratna. They're offering dana today, dedicating blessings and merits for late Father Peter Nanayakara, late Father Douglas Dinesius Senaratna, late Grandmother Alpi Nona, late Grandfather David Apuhami, late Grandmother Dora Senaratna, and late Grandmother J.C. Alexandria Senaratna. And this is from Amita, Kami, Jyoti, Charaka, Varunika and Ananda, they come with some clan. Happy birthday to you, dear Ajahn Amaro. Today's dana is dedicated to Ajahn Amaro for his well-being and welfare. May we take this opportunity to thank you wholeheartedly for everything you do for the lay community too. Throughout this pandemic, you've made an exerted effort to frequently share your teachings online. Those teachings have kept us going through during these times. May you live long with best health at peace. Also, may we take this opportunity to make a request to the Sangha for blessings for little Jyoti Panya, as she'll be starting her schooling. My goodness, on the 7th of September, aged 3. So, little Jyoti Panya beginning her educational adventure. May all beings be freed from every kind of suffering, especially during this COVID time. May they be at ease, with heartfelt and deepest gratitude from Amita, Kami, Jyoti, Charaka, Varunika and Ananda, and all spiritual friends. And lastly, for Duangchan Ellis and family, offering some funds for electricity and water. And also for my mother, Pat Horner, if she was still alive, she'd be 100 years old. But she's not. She passed away 18 years ago, but she was very directly involved on my birthday. And she survived that, but she's passed on some time ago now. But she would be 100 if she was still alive. So dedicate blessings for Pat Horner, whatever realm she might be in at the moment. Yatha varivaha pura pariparendi sakarang evameva hitodinang vedanang uppakapati ichitang patitang tumhang kippameva samichatu sabe parendu sankappa chando pannaraso yata manicho tiraso yata Sabarogo vinasatu mate bhavadva tarayo sukidika yuko bhava ambivadanasiresa nichang vudha pachayino chataro dhamma vadandi Ayuvano sukhang balang yankinchi vedang itawahurang sange suayang ratanang vanitang nano samangatitata katena hidam vibodhe ratanang vanitang ete sachena soa Tiho dukkayang viragang amata panidang yada janga sakyamuni samahito natena dhamme nasamadhi kinchita pitamme ratanang vanitang tena saje Sawati hotu yambo daseto bariwa Nai sucing samadhi manan Tarikan yamahu sama Inatena samona vijatihida Pitham me ratanang banitang Etena sacena so Tiho tu ye pogala atasata pasada chatariye tani yugani hondite dakineya sugata sasavaka hete sudinani palani hidambi sanghe ratana panitang etena sa cena sawa Tiho tu ye supayuta manasa talena nikamin Gautama sasanamite patipata hamatang vika yaladamut Niputing bunjamana hidam pisanghe ratanang bani tang etena sa cena sawa Tiho tu kinang puranang nawang tisamba Virata cita yatike pavasaming te kina bicha viruli chanda Nipanditi rayata yambadi pohidam bisanghe ratanang banitang ete Sacena sawa tihotu bhavatu sabha mangalang rakandus bandevata sabha buddhanupa vena sarasoti bhavatete bhavatu sabha mangal rakandu sabha devata sabha dhammanupa Vena sarasoti bhavatete bhavatu sabha mangala rakandu sabha devat sabha sangalanu pavena sarasoti bhavandute. I hope you all have a very good day. So please enjoy the rest of your visit this morning, and any of the Dhamma books there that look interesting that you haven't got already, please help yourselves.